Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Well, this one's going to be an interesting one. This one's going to be a very, very interesting one because I'll tell you what, something happened. I'm not going to tell you now. I'll tell you after this music intro. But something, Ralph, something happened. Yes. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Welcome back to the post-game reaction. Newcastle versus Arsenal. Arsenal, they got the job done. 2-0.
Did you see the match, Alex?
Did I see the game? Guys, if you can subscribe first, I'll tell you. I'll tell you after you subscribe. Well, I'll tell you what happened, Ralph, because you're wanting to know.
Yeah.
I saw maybe the first 8 minutes, 8 to 9 minutes, and then I had a problem with my my live stream. It went off, and when I put it back on again, we're 1-0 up. Who scored? The man who scores disgusting goals, El Neni. And after that, I was out for the count. I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I saw the game had come to an end. So, guys, this post game reaction is going to be very, very interesting. Ralph, did you see the game, Ralph?
I was driving to a friend, so on my way back, I missed the first 5 minutes of the match, but I saw the first half, and they look quite good. To be honest, they had a good shape on them. If there's anything I have to critique about Arsenal in the first half, is that when they have more chances, they don't seem to capitalize for whatever reason it is. Saw the second half, saw the bits of the second half. I saw about maybe 15, 20 minutes. So I saw Aubameyang's goal, well worked by Martinelli. And then my internet on my phone decided to just say, that's enough, you don't need to see anymore. And I spent half the time trying to sort it out. So I've got multiples. I've got my mobile, I've got the screen on with you guys on Friday. So something is happening that seems to be interfering with my phone at the moment. But other than that, a win's a win, isn't it? As we say, a win's a win.
So, yeah, and I saw Des actually put that in the WhatsApp group that a win is a win. So yeah, I don't know what to say, Ralph. Apart from, go on, what?
It's the first time you're speechless.
Yeah, because I didn't see like the majority of the game. I was just so tired. But it's good to see that El Neni. I'm sure Monty must be very, very happy.
Yeah,
Mohamed El Neni scoring another goal.
Alex, if I can put a question to you, if you remember about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks, you were stating that some players are cherry picking. So they play really good during the Europa matches, and then when it comes to the league match, they tend to just drop off a little bit because it's you don't really want to put yourself. This is not really professional. This is just me surmising. You don't want to really put yourself in and around until you've got a chance to probably put yourself in the frame for European glory, as it were. So, do you still feel that some of the players are putting the performance in when they feel they have to for the Europa? Because it was good to see Martinelli start. It's a shame that he didn't score. I think if he scored, then he'll give Arteta a bit of a headache. What we've been talking about, El Neni has been inconsistent, but when he scores goals, and he scored more than Partey at this moment in time. So there's another question mark over El Neni if you think that he's going to play a part on Thursday. And the third part is David Luiz. David Luiz got injured. So I don't feel like he's
Hey.
going to have. Yeah, he played, but he was injured in the second half.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now, does that mean that Arteta that forces Arteta's hand because they had Gabriel in there as well? Are you going to play Holding next to Gabriel?
Well, let me deal with your first point. Let me deal with your first point about whether the players are picking and choosing, cherry picking, whether to play or turn up or not. The 11. This was the starting 11. So we had Matt Ryan in goal.
Clean sheet.
I'll get to that in a moment. It looked like a flat back four, or a back four anyway, with Granit Xhaka in the left back. Right back was the Nature Boy, Hector Bellerin. Centre backs was Gabriel Magalhães and David Luiz, as Ralph has just said. Unbeknownst to me, got an injury, and then in front of them was Mohamed El-Neni and Dani Ceballos, and then left side, Martinelli. Right was a W man. In the number 10 role was Martin Odegaard. And starting for I think the first time for a few games now since contracting malaria was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So just there's been quite a few players there who have not had regular starts and haven't had any minutes in the Europa League run, Ralph.
Yeah.
So that's one issue there. Again, it's a different 11. The players from what I saw the first 10 minutes, they looked up for the game, but I still think they're picking and choosing. And what have they got to lose, Ralph? They're not going to be relegated. So it's possibly as well. There's less pressure on them to really perform. What was your second point as well? Oh, Mohamed El-Neni. You said literally he's been like misfiring, but he hasn't had a good run, Ralph. He hasn't had he hasn't been chosen for. I've never seen him play like 3 games on a trot for Arsenal, Ralph.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, and he scored more goals than Thomas Partey, Ralph. So you can't argue with that. I would like to see him play on Thursday night, but that's just a pipe dream there. But to your first question, are the players picking and choosing? I still believe that is the case, and even more so now when there's no pressure in it. We're not going to be relegated, and we're not going to make it in the top 4.
It's true. Twice, bless you.
But you didn't hear the second one. Anyway, and your third point. What was your third point you were trying to make? I forgot. Oh,
third point.
David Luiz. Well, if he's injured, he's injured, isn't it? He's not going to be featuring on Thursday, is he?
But do you feel that Arteta should have played him in this match? If he's risking all his chips on Thursday, do you think they should have played Luiz today? Because today, like I said, it was a nothing match. Maybe it was just a coin toss to see who's going to fill the midfield and striker role for Thursday.
To be honest, I couldn't envisage David Luiz playing on Thursday anyway. I think he would have been overrun with the movement of the strikers at Villarreal. So I couldn't envisage. I think we're all wiser after the event, aren't we? I mean, David Luiz is injured again. And I was quite surprised, actually, when I saw the report that he is going to be up for contention to play today. But again, we don't know the extent of his injury. But I think the players are picking and choosing, Ralph. And there's less pressure on them, whether they perform or not. There's no fans in the stadium. Again, we're not going to be in the top 4, and we're not going to be relegated. But yeah, ideally, I'd like to see again Marcelli start on Thursday. We've spoken about that, having 3 strikers on the bench. That is your plan B there, and you're not even using your plan B, much less your plan A. Good to see Aubameyang back on the score sheet. I know there's maybe 1 or 2 people watching me intently, saying, you're always giving Aubameyang a hard time. Yeah, I do. Because he gets paid so much money, and we demand a lot more from him. And like Ralph says, we have to remember the human element. He's been through a lot of stuff. But that aside, he's not performed, Ralph. He's not performed. So a good assist. I saw just quick replay from Martinelli. And Mohamed El-Neni scores another goal. More goals than Thomas Partey. Because Thomas Partey hasn't scored not 1 goal. Anyway. Nothing more I can say because again I didn't see the majority of the game, Ralph. So we're just going to live chat, Ralph, and see who's there because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there seems to be a bit of activity.
Yeah. Okay, so look. All right, got Des. Hi, Alex and Raz. Looking forward to this. Come on, you Gunners. Actually, yeah, power to the Gunners at least today. Anyway, yeah. And Santiago, good morning, good afternoon, my friend. Says a good overall performance by the team. Didn't see the majority of the game. Pure Arteta masterclass. A great squad rotation. Come on, you Gunners. Melneni set the tone. He set the tone. What?
Yeah.
He needs to be playing a lot more often, so he can set the
He
tone a lot more.
he had a second chance cleared off the line. I think it was off a corner as well. So he was getting himself about a bit.
Okay. And actually says, I worry about Ryan. 2 games now, and both times he thinks he's a midfielder and goes halfway up the pitch. I'm waiting for someone to lob one over him into the net. Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I'm pleased for Ryan. A clean sheet for him, actually. Yeah, got a clean sheet.
Newcastle did have a couple of breaks, but it was either the final ball or we managed to like snuff them out on the counter. So I think they are where they are at this moment in time. I think also the fact that Willock, because he's tied.
Yeah.
I think they missed him today as well.
Good point, actually. What else? And William is pointless. Whenever he gets the ball, he passes it back as soon as anyone approaches him.
Yeah.
You're right, actually. Man of the match, Oneni or the Viking?
Who would have got?
I don't know.
I would more, I think, side along with El Neni. Uruguay did have a game, but a couple of passes here and there. It took a couple of free kicks, and they don't seem to beat the first man. this again with Willian. Well, no, it's. I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to go full in. A win's a win.
Yeah,
exactly. It's getting his minutes in. I wasn't really overwhelmed with Willian. And what I did start to have a look at more, whenever the opposition has possession, always look at the way that our defensive line is set up. Chambers came on for Louise. He managed to force a couple of players off, shoulder barged them, as it were. But I'm always looking at our defensive line to see, who's communicating and who's picking up who. And there's still holes. There's still like pockets where players tend to drift. And picking up on what Eltel said last week, that when you're in possession and you're attacking, you've got about 5 seconds to make a pass into the final third. And when Arsenal was doing that, they held up to look to see where the support was, rather than understanding, look, there's space, you attack the spaces. So Newcastle, on the other hand, they did the same thing, but they knew what they were doing. It was just that final ball. So things still seem or still look shaky for us to go in on Thursday. With our defensive line, I don't think is strong enough. Communication is not strong enough. I may be completely wrong in what I'm saying. If someone online wanna give us their observations, then that's cool as well. But I'm always looking at our defensive line more than our midfield and attack. With midfield, when Xhaka did have the ball, he was on a yellow as well. So it was good to see if Newcastle was going to attack his side, and they didn't do that as much. But whenever we come to the midfield, the ball was always played backwards or sideways to get along, and rather than try and push the game forward. Again, it's one of our greatest strengths. It seems to be sideways and backwards.
Yeah. There's McLeod. There says it was a dirty goal. Filthy. Filthy.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I saw the
I saw
video.
the replay. Yeah. The way Man United fans were protesting wrong. I think they went too far. Thoughts, guys. Well, I saw actually on the little screen because again my laptop kind of froze actually when I woke up. Thinking, oh, and then we look at my phone, and on one screen it was showing some of the fans, Man United fans, had entered Old Trafford, and the reporter was saying that actually there was a few fans found in the changing rooms, and it's very very rare that that can happen with the amount of security that they have at Old Trafford. But again, knowing that literally there should be no fans in the stadium, and you just see like the fans were going up and down the stairs and like just leading the coppers on a merry-go-round. But yeah, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Did they go too far? Well, they broke an entry, didn't they?
Yeah.
Broken entry, so that's going too far, isn't it?
You could be respectful like the other clubs have done and protested outside. You know, the last thing you want to do is go inside and cause criminal damage, because then the owners would probably dig their heels in a bit more and say, well, it's a rogue element, rather than be around the board table saying, look, we've got fans who are, distancing themselves from us because we try to do this ESL. So yeah, there's a right way and a wrong way, and they've obviously, and also with social distancing and masks and everything else, you're putting other people at risk as well. So yeah, it's not really the right way to do it.
Yeah. As you said, I was surprised it was his first ever Premier League goal. Was it Elneny? Yeah, his first. Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Well, that's
yeah.
interesting. Good matters, Glenn Wynn, my brother. I don't think he should have played Louise, even though he had a good game up until his injury. So between Holden and Chambers will be on right centre back. Yeah, I couldn't really see him being chosen for the starting 11 in the second leg come Thursday. I just couldn't see it. And look at that, he's injured again. Injured again. Goodness. But just going back in regards to the situation with Man United fans at Old Trafford, we'll keep a lookout for that one. I know there's going to be a protest, or maybe there was a protest before the game today. I'm not sure, but it definitely will be one on Thursday before the second leg semi-final against Villarreal there. But what can you say? It's the frustration, isn't it? And I did say, you have to do. This is our fans. I'm not talking about Man United fans. I'm talking about our fans. You have to do what you think is reasonable and right. No damaging of property, no fighting, protesting without any violence. So was that right and reasonable? What Man United fans did there? No, not for me. Not for me. But okay, next one. All right, they said I'm glad Auba scored. Yeah, he didn't have that that.
The
But anyway, yeah,
hairstyle.
he scored. He scored. We can say Ralph.
I was going to say, I'm looking this morning that it was Travis Scott playing, and I did mention it to my daughter, and she started laughing. But yeah, he's gone back to his normal hairstyle, and he scored. So maybe these little things tend to set you up for maybe something bigger and better. So maybe on Thursday he might score a brace.
Yeah. I saw the replay. It was a Martinelli cross, wasn't it? I thought Auba headed the ball in, but he didn't. He was like
side. He
right
went on
foot. Yeah. I wonder how many headers has he actually scored for Arsenal? Not many. Not many.
No.
He's not renowned from headering. He's
No.
not renowned for headering. Des says Thomas Partey. Ah, he's not a Thomas Partey fan. I'll tell you that for sure. That's what it is.
Do you think Thomas Partey may improve next season?
He's going to have to, Ralph. He's going to on that amount of money that we paid for it and the way we went about triggering his release clause. He has to perform next season. There can be no excuses, Ralph. No excuses, man. Sorry, man.
No, I'm just putting it out there because you know we always tend to give new signees a chance to try and adjust to the pace of the Premiership and everything else. You know, we say it doesn't take a player a whole season. I mean, the season has been interrupted as well, but we give them, you know, a more of a buy. But at the same time, because it's been disjointed, I'm sure Des will come back at me at this kind of conjecture. But it's just the fact that sometimes our players who seem to take a time to try and get to the pace of the Premiership and understand the culture and everything else, all those combinations to make the whole of a player. Maybe players like him might understand more and may have more of an impact in a proper season. I'm just you know, I'm maybe giving him a lot more leeway than anyone else probably would do. But I think at the same time, we have to be mindful, because another thing I saw today was there was passes. If I could show you a kind of like way that they were messing about with their passing, a 5-yard pass was like more 2 or 3 yard, so you had to work that bit harder for it. And some of the other passes that, for example, when Xhaka made a pass and was playing sideways, he put the ball to his teammate, but it wasn't like a pass for you to receive it. You had to go for it to get it. And the way that I understand the way that Arsenal played, always, you know, going back in the past, when we play with speed and position, we play with the fact that we make the ball, you make the ball work, but you also make sure that the pass gets to its destination, it gets to the attacking threat or defensive defensive line. And the pass, if you only look back at the game, the passing looked very short. So are they just tired, or are they lacking technical ability, or is it a combination of the both? Or is there a third equation to this? From what I saw, the passing was okay at times, and when you need to be quick, it could have been a lot quicker. But it's like as if the ball only went so far because they didn't want to put the ball all the way in to their teammate. So Arsenal, I know maybe I'm expecting too much, but the passing wasn't zippy enough. And I'm doing a lot of comparisons.
A win is a win, isn't it?
A win's a win, and yeah, there's nice wins and ugly wins, but from what I saw today, although it was good to get some kind of confidence back into the team, to me these are basics. If I pass to you, I pass to your feet, and we progress forward. If I'm passing because there's no one coming towards me and you're passing sideways, then you're making yourself available, and it seems slow.
Okay. Actually, this is Alex misses game through old man power nap overload. Very funny, actually. Very, very funny. Robert says Leno shouldn't be brought in to play in the Europa League again. Too many mistakes.
But he saved us.
Was I surprised to see Matt Ryan? I was just a little bit. But yeah, just to kind of take the steam out of the situation with Leno and some of the mistakes that he's made there. Well, yeah, give Leno a go. And what was I more surprised at? Not to see Balogun. Balogun should have probably got some minutes today, Ralph.
Yeah.
Balogun. Again, we're not going to be relegated. We're not going to reach top 4. Give those youngsters some minutes. Give them some minutes, Arteta. Anyway.
Yeah.
Santiago says, yeah, one more game, Alex, then the watch along. Then Alex can't sleep. Well, listen, I did say the only time I'm going to do another watch along is if Arsenal reaches a final. Yeah, one more game. Let's see. So we've got a long way to go, Santiago. I might just let Ralph do the watch along. Yeah, go on. I'm not saying anything, Ralph.
Exactly.
Play Arsenal ladies on Thursday, Arteta.
Oh, I'll tell you something. Now, definitely, I'm sure they'll score at least about 4 or 5 goals because they take their chances. The girls, the
Yeah.
girls take their chances, and they've been playing some really lovely football.
Good matters. On Thursday, in defence, I will keep Marty alongside Kieran Tierney if he plays. Playing Kieran Tierney is too much of a risk, man. Gabriel is too green for big games, overwhelmed, but keep holding Amadi. Bring Cedric if Kieran Tierney not fit. I'd prefer to keep Cedric at left back. Kieran Tierney play in a game, the magnitude, second leg. That's Arsenal for trouble there. I wouldn't play Kieran
But
Tierney.
Alex, I know I said this morning. This is like chips all in. If it means that it will get us to the final and Kieran Tierney is fit, surely you would put him in. The only risk to it is literally a coin toss. If he's in and he plays the full 90, and for whatever reason, if the stars align and everything else, and we get through, then he'd be pumped up and ready for the next match. But if you don't put him in, and it does fall against us, then you're going to have a fit Kieran Tierney for next season.
No, I can't go with
you
that.
You won't put him in if there's a chance.
No, if he had played today, if Arteta had given maybe like 20 minutes or maybe 30 minutes and then taken him off or brought him on with 30 minutes to go, then I would have understood that, because it's not so much about being fit, it's about being match fit, Ralph.
Well, yeah,
for
cool.
me, take Kieran Tierney is a big risk. He hasn't had any minutes at all. No minutes at all. So, and that's why we have to have players competing in certain positions, actually in all positions. Yeah. So if a player gets injured or they go form, you've got the next player who's going to deputise for them, and that's why we've got Cedric. Cedric can play on the left back. He can play at right back. I wouldn't risk playing Kieran Tierney. I wouldn't do it. But yeah,
Would you play?
If he had some minutes today, then there would have been possibly an argument to have him again play on Thursday. But he didn't play today, Ralph. He didn't play today. That'd be a massive risk to play him on Thursday, and only for him to break down. No. Go on, Ralph. Sorry.
I was going to say, again, all hypotheticals. Would you play Kieran Tierney in the final?
That is providing he gets some minutes, Ralph. We've got how many more games to go? 4?
Yeah.
In the Premier League? 4? 3? 4?
I think it's about 4.
4, isn't it? So that's providing that we give him just a few minutes. I don't want to see him playing 90 minutes. I don't want to see. I'm transparent. I don't want to see Tierney getting 9 minutes. So I don't remember which is the next game that we'll play in the Premier League. But if he gets some minutes in each of the remaining 4 Premier League games, then fair enough. But just to whack him in there in the final, that's if we reach the final. Again, that'd be too much of a risk. Too much of a risk. Of course, there's something else I want to say. Listen, if I remember, I'll touch on that. Thomas Partey will not improve as long as there is why. Days, you do make me laugh, man. Alex, you're not going to see Balogun this season. I might be wrong, but Mikel Arteta does not trust the kids. I remember we had that conversation, but just to give him a few minutes. Again, we're not going to be relegated. We're not going to make top 4. So what's the harm in giving this youngster just a few minutes game time? What harm can there be, Ralph?
No harm. As I said before, we're not going to go up any further. We're not going to go down any lower. play the youngsters. Let them have some experience, so then they're battle ready for when the new season starts. You know, what are we protecting them from? You know, what other big games do we have to come? There's only going to be just potentially one, which is Thursday. I'm taking it one game at a time. But then after Thursday, when things potentially could go south, let's face it. You know, let's face this elephant in the room. If things do go south on Thursday, then what are you going to do? Are you going to start playing the kids the following Sunday? Or you're going to play the other senior players in those games to see the season out. So this is the time when you should be blooding the kids. So then come next season, you would know exactly what hand you've got to deal with come the new season. When you sat around the table, again, depending on what's going to happen with owners and such, that's going to be more distractions. And you know what we're like, Alex, when it comes to anything during the summer and we're distracted, we always come with the age-old excuse that, oh, we weren't prepared for X, Y, Z. This is the time now to get all that kind of nonsense out the way. The first thing as a manager you want to get out the way is to know exactly what shape your squad's in. Okay, so you just had a player now who is going to be on a yearly contract and is injured. You've got youngsters who are pushing the door because they want to prove themselves to you. Then let them open the door and then say, okay, well, there you are. Here's the spot. You want to be responsible. You want to show me what you've got. Here you are. You know, convince me. And then when the youngsters do it, yeah, 4 matches it really isn't enough. But at least it will give you some kind of idea what to play with. So when we come into next season, really, like we said this morning, there's no excuses. Depending on what shape the club's in, the manager will have his definitive team, the squad, and then those that he wants out, they should be either gone or on loan, or, you know, or I don't know, disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle for all I care, whatever the reason is going to be. But
also, Ralph, you know, you got to remember that there's a summer transfer window. Okay, you as a manager, you want to make a statement of intent that, you know what, the transfer window is about to hit upon us. I'm going to be you know, watching these youngsters, because these youngsters next season might be coming after your position. So I want to see what kind of reaction I'm going to get from these players. When I put your Balagons in, your Aziz into maybe the next game or the game after that, I want to see what kind of reaction am I going to get from the so-called senior squad players. Yeah? Knowing fully well, you know what, actually, you might be out of the door. So for me, there can be no excuse not to play the youngsters. He's just signed a contract. He's just signed a contract. Whack him in there. See how he gets on. And then actually all the other senior players might be thinking, is my time up here at Arsenal? This guy, the whippersnapper, is like snapping my heels. What kind of reaction can I give to the manager show, literally, I'm ready, or I'm ready to leave Arsenal? And that's why I think it's so important to keep all the players hungry, Ralph. They've got to be hungry, because if they're not motivated, they don't really need to be at Arsenal, Ralph. They don't need to be at Arsenal. Just show them the way to go. Show them the exit door.
But we've said that all along, Alex, that there should be competition for places.
Yeah.
That regardless if you're an experienced player or you're coming in, you got to know that your shelf life is all about being consistent and putting the performance in. It's not about, well, I'm in with the manager. My form may be shocking, but I know I'm going to get picked. You know, all that kind of like nonsense got to be put to one side. It's all about performance. You know, when's the last time you scored a goal? Or when's the last time you did an assist? Or when's the last time we had a clean sheet? Or when's the last time we won something? So all those equations is to put competition to those places. And the only way that Mikel is going to start understanding about what level or depth of talent he's got is that he's got to play those youngsters. He's got to play them. And don't forget, earlier in the season, the only reason why Saka and Emil Smith Rowe got chances and Ainsley Maitland-Niles is because we had either suspensions and injuries. They weren't really Mikel Arteta didn't really choose the youngsters. He was forced into a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And now those youngsters have proved their worth. So delve into the pot some more and get them out.
And then now the next point, Santiago says, "Have some faith, Alex. Trust the process." Arteta has got to show me a lot more before I invest in the process, because he's making so many mistakes. Again, last Thursday was a disaster class, and saved by a penalty that was not a penalty. You know, he's got a lot to prove, Santiago, a lot to prove. And next season is going to be a real eye opener. It's going to be a real eye opener because we're not going to be in the Europa League action. We're going to be out for the first time in like 25 years. So what is he going to do when he's got players, who are thinking, you know what? Do I want to stay at Arsenal? They're not in any kind of European action. Now show me, Arteta, what can you do with this set of players? But trust the process. He has to show me a lot more before I can say I'm fully invested in this process. And I'm not saying I'm Arteta out, Ralph. I'm not saying that.
I know.
Process, he needs to show me a lot more what he's about. I know he's inexperienced. It's obvious because he's making so many mistakes. We've lost 13 games in the Premier League. 13 games. And if I was to talk about the previous manager, Unai Emery, everyone will be up in arms. Anyway, yeah, I'm not trusting the process just yet, Santiago. I'm not trusting it. Do you want to say something, Ralph, before we go?
Yeah, I was going to say that not only the fact about having those players there and being out of the Europa League, I know we're a bit premature, but we've got to turn over. We've got to turn over this deficit, and we've got to win big style as well. It's also the fact that who would want to come to Arsenal? Who can we attract? Before we can attract anyone, we said this again as well. We've got to get rid of the ones that are not putting us in that top level position, and we have to be very, very. You have to be cold. You have to be pretty much like I'll say without any kind of emotion, because it's emotion within that put us in this kind of situation. Anyway, you've had a manager who would let those players put them in a bad position. And then you had another manager who tried to change things around, and then it was player power for whatever reason. They weren't playing for him. And now you've got a manager who's a bit of a mixture of the two, and his tactical nous is not there at the moment. He's a manager in training. So next season, who do we attract? It's gonna they're gonna have to come into a team to upset the status quo, and also to understand that if we're not in the Champions League, I wish, if we're not in the Europa League, then this it's going to take two seasons of establishing and winning. You have to win. You have to have that winning mentality.
Ralph, for me, it's not so much who can we attract, it's who can we get rid of.
Well, that's what I said. That's what I said at the beginning.
Yeah,
we have to get rid of before we can attract anyone in.
Yeah. Des says, if the watch along goes ahead, I will do it with you, Alex. So, listen, I learned my lesson. There's the FA Cup final last year. I thought, yeah, I'll do it with somebody else, and it was the most stressful watch along because the person who I should have ejected him from the live watch along because the language he was using, and he was like saying, "Oh, we're going to lose." I was thinking, just shut up. So if there is a watch along, I will do it on my own. Sorry, Des, but thank you. But I'll do it. I feel a lot more at ease.
Controlled.
Yes. And there you go. The first Arteta out of the evening. Don Arsenal.
Oh,
Don
yeah.
Arsenal, behave yourself. Behave yourself. He goes on to say, how's Balogun and Aziz not even on the bench? And what happened to Nelson? Yeah.
There you go.
Tierney won't play in the final because we won't even get there, Ralph.
Well, like I did say in my early summary, it's just surmising. It's a potential. It's not. I'm not saying that we are going to get in there. What is the potential if the fact if we was to get into the final? Would you want to play him a one off final? Anything could happen. He is subject to injury. It's one of these things that Arsenal seem to be beset by. It's the fact that we have players that are continually injured in crucial times of the season. We never have a full fit team leading into these campaigns. There's always one or two missing, okay, but when you look at about maybe 4 or 5, it becomes worrisome. And once in a blue moon, okay, but it's like every season. If you have to document the last 10 years, we always seem to be losing players when we come towards this time of the season, whether it's the lead up to a Premiership. We haven't been that contentious for the longest time, but still. But when it comes to cup matches, we're always short of someone. So, but like I said, I'm just surmising. I'm not saying that. Of course, this is what's gonna happen. We've still got one more match.
Yeah. Today would have been a perfect game to play, and next week is West Brom. Okay, West Bromwich Albion. Another game to show himself. Then Chelsea, Crystal Palace, and Brighton. The kids can play in 3 games to get minutes. Yeah, there really is no excuse. I said there's no excuse. He goes and say, Ralph, I have a question for you. Ralph, your top. What is the writing saying? AFC, not
PLC. We didn't want Arsenal to become publicly owned. If you remember, Alex, when you got asked if you can get me a top after we beat Chelsea FA Cup 2018, 17. Yeah. 2017. And this was the top that they had, and the person in the pub said how it's the fact that we don't want Kroenke floating us out on the stock market. It's a club's, it's a supporters club. We don't want to, and all the things that we talked about last week, it seems to bear fruit now. But we had this idea, 2017, 2015, 2000, 98. You know what I mean? All those years. So it's weird how some of these things are played out. But yeah, so this is my Arsenal kit, just to say, solidarity with making sure that Kroenke leaves. If he's going to take the check, if he wants a check, like I said to Alex this morning, we don't see how much the check is, but I want to make sure that he carries his luggage out from the Emirates. I don't think he ever had luggage in the Emirates anyway. So maybe we should make sure that he doesn't take any trinkets along. No, nothing from them. Not the golden trophy one for being invincible and all that kind of stuff. Make sure that he leaves with his hands and pockets empty.
Yeah. Des says I will stick to the rules, bro.
Oh.
I'll do if we reach the final. Des, thank you, but I will do the watch along myself. Sorry, we might do like a preview if we reach the final. Yeah, like the crazy gang back on East Talk. But yeah, I'll do the watch along myself. Thank you.
Let's wait. Well, we've got one more match. Let's see what happens after one more match.
Good show. Alex from Ralph. To be
Guna.
Based on the point on who's coming in, question. Is it not perhaps something for Kroenke to realise that we are not in Europe, that we need to get stability? Ralph?
That's what you said from the very start of the season. You said that you're not looking for. It's a good thing that I didn't bet with you. I had my my cold bucket water challenge thanks to Gwen Doozy, and I was thinking, oh, Alex said at the very beginning of the season that the only thing that he wants is stability. Stability. We're not going to be in the top 4. He said top 6. I believe is what you say. He said top 6.
I said 7th place.
7, yeah. but not top 4. And you know we're way below that, and we're as stable as a one-leg table. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yeah, stability, and that's what all clubs should be like. You want your foundations to be stable because then it gives you the opportunity to build onto something more sturdy. You have more ambition to reach for those things that seem to be given to the chosen few. If you look at let's go real talk now. If you want to look at terms of European success, you have to. I'm talking about the Premiership. You have to look at Liverpool. You have to look at Man United. I'm not going to say Man City because they're not there yet. You have to look at Chelsea. Chelsea has done it. As much as I don't want to agree with that, but Chelsea have done it. So even further down the tables, Notts Forest have done it once upon a time, back to back.
Yeah.
Aston Villa done it as well. So Arsenal have been, and I always put this up, when Arsene Wenger had it was the FA Cup against Newcastle in 1998. When an interviewer asked him, you know, what's your ambitions next? What about winning the Champions League? Arsene Wenger said, we've got plenty of time to win that. He said, we've got plenty of time to win that. And we came within a whisker of either side of the goal that Henry could have chosen to put the ball in to make it 2-0 against Barcelona. And that was 2008. And here we are now, 2021. Who would have thought 2021, we're trying to get to the final against Villarreal, who we knocked out of the Champions League 2008, wasn't it?
I can't remember, you know.
I think it was 2008 because that led to the final. So when a manager says we've got plenty of time, there is no tomorrows. If you want to pick up an old Rocky tagline, as it were, you know, there's no tomorrow. You do what you can with the team that you have. We've had beautiful teams. We've even had shocking players, but we've never ever been this far down the table.
Yeah.
So now is the time that, you know, we take it one match at a time. But if we ever get into the top 4, I always say that my mentality is to win everything. I don't want to settle. We've settled. Look what happened now. We've settled so much that we settled ourselves out of the top 4. So now we're in the dogfight, and we have to fight everyone. Even Leicester are doing things in the right way. Everton has got one of our board members, Usmanov. You see where we're going with this. We've had opportunities, and it's because of greed, because the board members want to sell their shares to somebody who was not really a fan of the club. This is what's happened. This is the bad side of the coin. So now we've got to start again. So again, I may have gone a bit of a while answering that question. First, stability. Foundation, ambitions to make the club grow, get the players that can actually do the job. You can't have friends, you can have teammates, but to be a really solid unit, you sometimes have to make the hard decision. And if somebody's not playing consistently well, you have to drop them. You have to, because if you don't drop them, it becomes detrimental to the rest of the team. And then you've got youngsters in the team who will feel, well, if this player is getting X amount of money can do it, then when I get there, I can do it. And then the mentality becomes sour instead of the way that it used to be, where everybody was fighting for everyone because our opposition was the enemy. Now it's our teammates. We're into cliques. That's not the way for a team to progress. Stability first.
Des says, fair enough. I respect that. Yeah, it's just, I want to make, again, if we reach the final, I want to make sure that I have the best experience possible. And I just think, I need to learn from my mistakes. Having people on a watch long who are going to be doing things off the cuff and saying the wrong things. But anyway. Santiago says, as supporters, we stand with the team, player, manager, and staff. All together, we support. Kintu says, Arsenal force, or actually Arsenal forever. When Eltel had that duck on his head on the Easy Tour, I thought the W man had joined the stream. Sometimes you notice we've got like certain like themed shows, especially on the Easy Tour, and that idea actually came out from Eltel because his son had brought him the merch from our store there with the Canon logo on the front there. I still have yet to order mine. I need to get mine ordered as well. But yeah, that's why. But I thought it was just so funny. Just hysterics, Ralph. Absolutely.
I know. I'm looking at the stream. I've got the stream in the background. I have. There's Tim with his baseball cap and everything. No doubt I'll get into the point where Eltel. The thing with Eltel is that when he laughs, he's got that kind of laugh that sets you off. He's got a great laugh here, as Eltel. Brilliant guy. But yeah, you guys had a really good session on Friday, and I think anyone who watches this, it's essential viewing on the Friday, the Easy Talk. Whether you're involved or whether you're watching, just watch in and have a look, and trust me, you make it your Friday routine.
Yeah. Shall we go for a quick pause, or shall we just run through the last few, Ralph, and just call it quits?
Yeah, run through the last. I think I've pushed my daughter to one side actually, which she called earlier. So okay, let's go through.
So is Mikel Arteta the man that we should give the chance to? I'm not saying Mikel Arteta out, but I think he should get the opportunity to give the chance to build a club, because it is a perfect if we not playing in Europe. That's a very good point. And do you know what, Glenn, man? Have you been watching my notes from last year? Stability, out of Europe action for next season. Be the perfect time to give this guy more time. He'd be under less pressure, because all these. I think for me, the Europa League has been a distraction, not only for the club but also for the fan base. So yeah, you've been watching my notes, man. Stability and yeah, man. But what do you? I mean, for me personally, yeah. Why not have that season next season where he can clear out? I mean, the players, they might decide themselves, Ralph, that they might jump ship and go somewhere else, which is fine for me. Players come, players go. The only one constant is Arsenal. But I think not being in the European League next season will be less distractions for Mikel Arteta. There won't be high expectations, and he'll be able to focus on the job at hand. He's learning on the job. The third biggest club in England. God, my goodness, man. Anyway. Also, Alex says a great win today, but too little, too late. Just done my review. Okay, Alex, thank you for that, Alex. I need to order a t-shirt when I can. Well, yeah. You can have it custom made, can't you? Yeah, the enforcer. Bring it.
Bring it. You'll have that on the back, I reckon.
Yeah. As I said, did you see I ate humble pie? Yeah. No, Des, what do you mean? I won't get into that. We're not going to get into that one. So, we've come to an end. Inside an hour post-game reaction on a game that I didn't really see. So thank you, Ralph, for filling the bits.
That's okay. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just put on I could have seen the last 10 or 15 minutes of the second half. For some weird reason, the stream that I've chosen decided just to up sticks and enjoy the sunshine. So
I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to answer it. Did you pay for the live stream?
Yes.
Okay.
Why would you think it not?
Because I didn't.
I'm sorry, Alex. I'm not as unscrupulous as you are. When I pays my money, I takes my choice, and I'm gonna literally go. You know, I will be putting a slight complaint in because it's not happened. It's just happened about 3 times now. When I watched the match, and all of a sudden the stream has just gone off for whatever reason, and the Wi-Fi in the house at best is okay. And if I can watch Disney Plus and Netflix and even one or two of my YouTube videos, then to watch something on the app on my phone, it shouldn't really be doing what it did, but it did, and I missed the last 10-15 minutes of the match. So I'll be looking at it. But yeah, I pay for it. Actually, I pay for it. I
Okay.
pay for it. It's not. I don't know if Cronky probably Cronky probably decided to pull the plug because he probably saw that I'm on Spotify as well. So
listen, guys, we're done on this one. Thank you for everyone who came into the live chat. I mean, I got to read like 95% of everything that came into the live chat there, apart from 1, 2, 3, like 5 like last comments from Arsenal Alex and the Enforcer. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Yes, it's a bank holiday, so yeah, over here in the UK.
So we got a Monday morning, Alex.
Yes, yeah, make the most of it.
Are you going to have James Rowe and Eltel in the afternoon or evening, or
in the evening? In the evening.
Wow.
In
So
the evening.
So Cannon for the fans will have 2 Alexes for the one day.
I feel sorry for them.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that as well, but you beat me to it.
Oi, watch it. Sign him up. Nice one. So I'm gonna go back and have my the second part of my nap. I'm absolutely cream crackered, and I'll be back tomorrow morning. Yeah, maybe the last Monday show in a while. But maybe yeah, Monday I might explain the reason behind. I think most of you know anyway. I've got a new placement, part-time, Monday to Thursday. So every Friday morning you'll be seeing me doing my live show every Friday morning. I need to have a nap, Ralph. I'm gonna have a nap.
Yeah,
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me on this one. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow morning to give some more 3 bits of live news, and hopefully there'll be some more movement in the story about Arsenal up for sale. Arsenal up for sale. Ralph, have you got like a spare £1 billion lying somewhere around your house?
Funny you used to say that.
Yeah.
If we can talk to 1 or 2 of the conglomerate and see if we get Mube Guna as well to seal the deal, get Eltel with the dark arts, and there's to enforce the right act, then we're in there, bruv.
Nice one. So on that note, I'm going to end it by saying the same thing again. You know, if you have just seen this live show and you're liking what you hear, make sure you subscribe. Like it says there, subscribe to Canon 40 TV. Until then, I shall bid you farewell. Look after each other, be kind, and stay safe. Ralph, again, thank you very much, and I hope we'll see you again maybe this time next week.